Let's hear that. So what I've done is I've actually inserted a single note in this MIDI clip. And you zoom in, you see it's just one single C2. And I put in another C2, basically just to give it a bit of rhythm. I could make it just one continuous one, but I find that if you just play a melody continuously, it'll drive you insane. So you need to have a break. And what I've done here is that I've added a bunch of effects. So let me switch them all off first so that we can take you through how each one of them works. So this is the instrument, the Ridgeline Retro Keys. This is part of the Singularities pack, which can play on the Ableton Live intro as well. So don't worry, this is not reserved for Ableton Suite users. Everybody from Ableton Live intro onwards can use the Singularities suite. So this is the note. Hardly inspiring, right? So I said, okay, let's put in a MIDI random effect. The MIDI effects, under random, there's an effect called the blue. So I drag in the blue and I turn the randomness, the chance, up to 100%. So it's going to be 100% random. And I put the scale to 2, so it will play 2 steps in increments of 2 steps. But I also made sure there were 12 choices. So trust me on the music theory. Those of you who know music theory will realize the implications of this. But if you do every 2 steps and you do times 12, you've got a pretty good range of sounds. And by putting this on to add, that means it will just play upwards. So from the C2 onwards, you can play D2, you can play, up. So with that single note sounds like. So right now, it's randomly playing. It's randomly playing these notes. So I said, is that all? Why don't I make it play more notes? And how do we make a single note play more notes? We use the MIDI effect called Arpeggiator. So I drag in Arpeggiator and I set it to a rate of 1/8. So it's playing 8 notes in every bar. And I set it to do just one step, which is 12 semitones up. And instead, I get this now. The thing about doing an arpeggiator is it will only take the notes that are coming into it. So I'm having a random note going, but it's only one random note. So I'm only playing, like, if I play a D2, you'll play a D2 and a D3. So it's bom bang, bom bang. Or it plays a E2, you'll play a E2 and an E3, which is not really interesting. I want to play a chord. So now, how do I play a chord? I'm going to drag in the Ableton MIDI effect called Chord. Surprise. So I drag in Chord and I'll choose this preset called the House 4 to Go. Now, I got this. It will play not just the first note, but also a note that's 3 semitones higher, another note that's 7 semitones higher, and another note that's 12 semitones below. And because it goes into the arpeggiator is going to split up those notes, and it sounds like this. Now, if you have like perfect pitch or you have some sense of musical scales, you say, some of these notes are actually clashing because mathematically speaking, it'll actually go out of scale. So in order to make sure that all my notes don't clash and they come within a scale, I'm going to drop in a scale under MIDI Effects, Scale. And I'll choose a relatively simple scale, the blue scale. So here comes the blue scale. And if I want a longer variety, I'm just going to stretch it out. Because it's a loop, right? So I go. So to hear how this would sound with other instruments, I put in a very simple beat here with a 909. So at this point, say, oh, this is interesting, right? Basically, I have from that single note that's looping around, is now creating for me a blues riff. So I don't have any control over this. What if I hear something I like? It's completely random. How am I going to capture it again? So what I'm going to do is I'm going into the next channel, the next MIDI track, and I'm going to record everything that happens into this MIDI track. So in my second MIDI track, which has nothing in it, I'm going to take the input from track 1, and I'm going to monitor in, and I'm going to arm it for recording. And I'm going to let this run longer. I'm going to let it run for 24 bars. So starting from the beginning, let's see when I press record what notes I end up with. Let me extend the drums first. Start again. Yeah. So I have the whole 24 bars of different melodies. And if I wanted to say, hey, I realized that I like this section here, out of all my sections, I can just highlight it, cut it, move it to a new MIDI channel, and let's just put in a new sound. A new key sound. I can switch off this one and just one. So I realized I just only want the center one, right? I like this. I like it so much. I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times. And so here we go. This might not be the one you want, but basically I can let this run as long as I want, and I'll have just hundreds and hundreds of different riffs that I can do. Oh yeah, like that. Why don't I try that? To spark off creativity ideas. This is not to replace your creativity, but just to give you an idea that, that's a riff that I wouldn't have naturally played on a keyboard or naturally clicked, but make sparks of ideas. Hopefully you get some inspiration from it, and from there you can build on and create something for yourself. So that's what I have for today for creative use of MIDI effects.